Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here today to talk about one thing we all have in common, whether we're rich or poor, young or old. Time. Time is the one resource that can never be replaced. You can lose money and make it back, lose relationships and rebuild them, lose a job and find another. But time, once it's gone forever. And the question I want you to ask yourself today is, what are you doing with the time you have? I see too many people wasting time. You wake up, get caught in a routine, and before you know it, the day is over. The months go by. The years pass. And then one day you look back and you realize you've let precious time slip away. Time is one of the most valuable resources we have, yet it is often taken for granted. Unlike money or possessions, time is something that once lost cannot be regained. You can lose money and work to earn it back. You can lose a job and find another. But time, once it's gone, remains lost forever. Every second that ticks away is a second that will never return, no matter how much you wish you could turn back the clock. We all have the same 24 hours in a day, but it's what we choose to do with those hours that makes the difference. The reality is that time is a non-renewable resource. You can invest in things like education, relationships, and businesses and see a return on your investment. But with time, there's no refund, no exchange. You cannot go back and relive moments you wish you had spent differently. And that should be a powerful reminder that every second you waste a day is a second you will never get back. Consider this: the average person will spend around 25 years of their life sleeping, 10 years working, and a significant amount of time doing things that don't directly contribute to their personal or professional growth. If you really think about it, the time you have in your life is finite. This isn't meant to depress you, but to inspire you to see time for what it truly is: a precious commodity that needs to be managed wisely. The truth is, we often fall into the trap of believing we have all the time in the world. This false sense of security makes us complacent. We put off important things, thinking that we have endless days ahead of us to accomplish our dreams, complete that project, or make that life change. But that's an illusion. Tomorrow is not promised, and each day is a new opportunity that should be seized. It's easy to fall into the trap of believing that you can always make up for lost time later. However, as time passes, it becomes harder to get back to where you once were, or to regain the motivation and energy you might have had when you were younger. Every day spent procrastinating or idly waiting for the perfect time costs you precious moments of growth, of progress. The older you get, the more you realize how fast time really moves, and how easy it is to look back with regret over things you could have done differently if only you had acted sooner. One of the most dangerous things about wasting time is that it often happens without you realizing it. You get caught up in the day-to-day distractions, social media scrolling, endless television shows, or even overthinking about things you can't control. These things take up your time without offering anything meaningful in return. If you spend too much of your time on distractions, you'll reach a point where you look around and realize that your potential has been wasted. The things that truly matter, like personal development, relationships, and pursuing your passions, are the things that require focus and intentionality. Take a moment to consider your own life and how you're spending your time. Are you actively working toward your goals, or are you just letting life pass you by? It's so easy to be swept along by the current of daily life, to be consumed by immediate concerns, and to lose sight of the long-term vision that you once had for yourself. But in the grand scheme of things, every day you waste is a day you could have spent building a better future. In the end, time is more valuable than anything else you could possess. It's the one thing that never waits for you. The clock keeps ticking, no matter what. So you have to ask yourself, how will you choose to use your time? Will you allow it to slip away, or will you make every moment count? Because when you look back, you'll only regret the time you didn't spend wisely. The time is now. There's a common misconception that there's always a perfect moment to start, to act, or to make a change. We often convince ourselves that the right opportunity will just appear, that someday we'll wake up and feel ready, or that external circumstances will align to make our dreams easier to chase. But the truth is, there is no right time, there is only now. The truth is that time is fleeting. It moves forward relentlessly, and the present moment is all we really have. If you constantly wait for the right time, you could spend your whole life in a holding pattern, never fully living or taking the necessary steps to achieve your goals. Life won't stop or pause for you to catch up. In fact, while you wait for the right time, the world is moving around you. Every second that you hesitate, someone else is seizing the opportunity you've left behind. Time doesn't wait for anyone. It doesn't care if you're ready or not. The only thing it cares about is whether you choose to act. Waiting for the right moment is often just a form of procrastination. We wait for the perfect conditions, the ideal circumstances, the best possible situation to fall into place. But these conditions rarely ever come. If you wait for everything to be perfect before you take action, you'll be waiting forever. There will always be something that isn't quite right. The fear of failure, doubts about your abilities, or external factors that you can't control. These things can hold you back, and the longer you allow them to, the more time you waste. It's crucial to understand that there is no such thing as the perfect moment. The only moment that matters is the one you're in right now. And the best time to act is the time you have in front of you. Whether it's starting a new project, pursuing a dream, or making a change in your life, the truth is that the moment to begin is always now. Every second you waste is a second you're not building toward your future. You can make progress today, even if conditions are less than perfect. Small steps taken consistently over time will lead to significant results. It's about taking action, even when the road ahead is unclear. You don't need to have all the answers right away. You just need to start. Think about all the times you've waited for the right time in your life. Maybe you've delayed starting a new career, pursuing an educational goal, or making a lifestyle change. You waited for things to line up just right, but they never did. The moment you've been waiting for might never arrive. The universe doesn't work on your schedule. It won't deliver the ideal circumstances because life isn't meant to be perfect, it's meant to be lived. And living means doing things despite the challenges, the uncertainties, and the imperfections. Imagine if everyone waited for the right time to take action. The great innovators, leaders, and visionaries in history all understood the importance of the present moment. They didn't wait for things to fall into place before acting. They took steps forward with courage, even in the face of adversity. They understood that progress is made by doing, not by waiting. There is an incredible power in embracing the now. When you take action in the present moment, you begin to build momentum. Even if you don't have everything figured out, even if things don't go according to plan, the simple act of starting propels you forward. You learn, you grow, and you adapt. Every small action creates a ripple effect that pushes you toward greater things. It's the compounding effect of consistent effort, no matter how imperfect your journey may seem. So stop waiting, stop hoping for a better moment. The only moment you can truly control is the one you're living in right now. The time to act is now. The time to start is today. Don't let the fear of imperfection stop you. Seize the moment, take that first step, and trust that by doing so, you're already on your way to achieving what you've always wanted. The right time is the moment you decide to make it happen. And that moment, it's here. It's now. In today's world, we're constantly bombarded with distractions. The pace of life is faster than ever, and it feels like there's always something vying for our attention. Social media, emails, news updates, entertainment, these are all distractions that, although they may seem harmless at first, can easily consume large portions of our time. The more time we spend on distractions, the less time we have to focus on what truly matters. The problem is that distractions don't just take away your time, they also dilute your focus and scatter your energy. When your attention is constantly divided, it's hard to commit yourself fully to any one thing. You end up doing many things, but none of them are done with your full effort or your best self. Whether it's endlessly scrolling through social media feeds or engaging in mindless activities, distractions steal more than just your time, they rob you of your potential. I think about how much time you waste each day getting caught up in distractions. The average person spends hours every week on their phones, checking notifications or consuming content that doesn't contribute to their personal or professional growth. These moments add up. What could you accomplish if you reclaimed even just half of that time and spent it on something that truly matters, whether it's working toward a goal, improving a skill, or investing in meaningful relationships? The key to getting back on track is learning how to avoid distractions and focus your energy on what truly moves you forward. This doesn't mean you need to eliminate all distractions from your life. After all, it's important to relax and unwind. However, it does mean being intentional with your time. It means choosing to be disciplined about what you spend your time on and recognizing that not everything deserves your attention. The more you can streamline your daily habits and remove unnecessary distractions, the more time and energy you'll have for what's important. One of the best ways to reclaim your time is by setting boundaries. Boundaries can be physical, like setting designated work hours or limiting the time you spend on certain activities. They can also be mental, like recognizing when your mind is starting to wander or when you're about to get lost in a distraction. Being intentional about how you spend your time means making decisions on what deserves your focus. It's about choosing the activities that will help you move forward and learning to say no to the things that won't. Setting clear priorities helps you stay on track and use your time effectively, rather than letting distractions pull you in every direction. Another powerful strategy to avoid wasting time on distractions is the concept of time blocking. Time blocking is a technique where you schedule specific blocks of time throughout the day for different tasks, and during those blocks, you focus exclusively on one task, whether it's work, a hobby, or time with loved ones. This method forces you to dedicate your full attention to the task at hand, and it helps minimize the urge to multitask or get sidetracked by distractions. By setting aside specific time for specific activities, you create a structure that supports your productivity and keeps your mind focused. It's also essential to recognize when distractions are being used as a way to avoid discomfort. Often we turn to distractions not because we're genuinely interested, but because we're avoiding something more important or challenging. Maybe it's a project that requires deep thinking or a goal that feels too big or intimidating. Distractions offer a temporary escape, but they don't move us forward. Instead, they prevent us from facing the hard work that leads to real growth. The more you embrace discipline and focus, the more you can avoid falling into this trap. When you recognize that distractions are a form of avoidance, you can choose to face the discomfort head on and push through it, knowing that it will lead you to greater success. It's important to realize that in the long run, distractions don't serve your goals or your dreams. They may give you momentary pleasure or a quick sense of relief, but they won't help you build a meaningful life or create lasting success. Focusing on your long-term vision means making choices today that align with your future. Every moment spent on distractions is a moment you could have spent building towards your dreams. So, get intentional about your time. Stop letting distractions control your life and take back the power to focus on what truly matters. The more you align your time with your goals, the more successful you'll become and the less you'll regret the time you've spent. We all have the power to control how we spend our time, yet so often we give that control away without even realizing it. It's easy to get swept up in the tide of daily responsibilities, external demands, and societal expectations. We let others dictate how we use our time, whether it's through work obligations, family commitments, or even the influence of social media. But at the end of the day, you are the only person who can take full responsibility for how you use the precious hours in your life. If you want to truly make an impact and reach your potential, you need to take ownership of your time. Taking control of your time means being deliberate about what you prioritize and how you structure your day. Too many people live reactively, allowing external events and circumstances to determine how they spend their time. When this happens, we lose our sense of direction and control. We become busy, but not necessarily productive. We fill our days with tasks and commitments that seem important in the moment, but don't actually contribute to our long-term goals. In the process, we end up wasting time on things that don't matter. When you take control of your time, you start to become intentional about what you choose to engage with. This means setting clear goals, defining your priorities, and sticking to them. You decide what's worth your time and energy, and you actively choose to invest in those things that align with your values and long-term vision. Taking control of your time also means learning to say no when necessary. We live in a culture where people are often afraid to turn down requests, whether it's from colleagues, friends, or family. However, saying yes to everything means saying no to your own priorities. You can't be everything to everyone, and trying to do so only spreads you thin and leaves you overwhelmed. Effective time management isn't about cramming as many tasks as possible into a single day. It's about quality over quantity. It's about understanding that your time is finite and that you need to be strategic about how you use it. The most successful people aren't necessarily those who work the hardest or the longest. They're the ones who know how to prioritize, delegate, and focus on what truly matters. If you don't take control of your time, you'll find that you're simply reacting to what life throws at you instead of actively shaping your own destiny. One of the keys to taking control of your time is building habits that support your goals. Habits are powerful because they allow you to work on autopilot, freeing up mental energy for the more important things. If you develop positive, productive habits, you don't have to waste time thinking about what to do next. You simply do what's required to move forward. Whether it's setting aside time for deep work, getting up earlier to exercise, or blocking out time for self-reflection, building these habits ensures that you're always working toward your goals, even on days when motivation feels lacking. Another important aspect of taking control of your time is avoiding the trap of perfectionism. Many people waste time by obsessing over getting things just right. They procrastinate because they fear making mistakes or because they feel they need the perfect conditions to get started. But the truth is, perfectionism often leads to inaction, and the more you wait for everything to be perfect, the more time you waste. There's a saying that done is better than perfect. Perfection is a moving target, and you'll never feel fully ready to take the next step. Instead, focus on progress, not perfection. Taking action, even if it's imperfect, is far more valuable than waiting for the right time. Taking control of your time also involves reflecting on how you're spending it. Every so often, take a step back and assess how your time is being used. Are you spending your time on the things that matter most to you? Are your actions aligned with your values? Reflecting on your time allows you to course correct when necessary. It helps you identify where you might be wasting time, and it provides you with the opportunity to adjust your habits and routines to make sure that you're always moving toward your goals. Time is yours to control, but only if you take responsibility for it. Don't let life pass you by while you're waiting for the perfect conditions or someone else to tell you how to use your time. Be intentional. Take charge. Start prioritizing what truly matters, and make deliberate choices about how you spend your time. By taking control of your time, you unlock the power to create the life you truly want to live. You become the architect of your own destiny instead of a passive observer. And that's where real change happens. Success and greatness don't come by chance. They come through consistent hard work, discipline, and sacrifice. Too often, people look for shortcuts, easy fixes, or ways to bypass the effort required to achieve their goals. We live in an age of instant gratification, where everything seems to be just a click away. But the truth is that the things that matter most in life require sustained effort over time. Whether it's building a successful career, developing a skill, or creating a meaningful life, none of these things happen overnight. They require a commitment to putting in the work day after day, even when it's hard, even when you don't feel like it, and even when the results aren't immediately visible. One of the biggest misconceptions people have about success is that it happens suddenly or by sheer luck. People look at someone who has achieved great things and think that they got there because of some lucky break or a fortuitous turn of events. What they don't see is the countless hours, the late nights, the sacrifices, and the dedication that went into making that success possible. Greatness is rarely the result of a single big moment. It's the accumulation of many small moments, choices, and actions that build over time. The difference between success and failure often comes down to consistency. You don't need to have all the answers, all the talent, or all the resources right away. What you need is the willingness to show up every day and do the work, even when it's difficult, even when the results aren't immediate. Consistent effort over time is what turns dreams into reality. It's about having the courage to keep going even when progress seems slow, because success isn't about how quickly you get there, it's about how long you keep going. This is where discipline comes in. Discipline is the ability to stick to your goals, to maintain focus, and to keep moving forward even when distractions arise or challenges appear. It's easy to start something when you're excited or motivated, but the true test of character comes when motivation wanes and you still need to push through. Discipline isn't just about staying committed when it's convenient. It's about sticking to your plan when things get tough. It's about doing what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. Discipline is what separates those who achieve their dreams from those who give up halfway through. Sacrifice is another crucial component of success. Achieving greatness often requires giving up something in order to gain something greater. This might mean sacrificing your time, your comfort, or even relationships in the short term to achieve your long-term goals. Sacrifice is never easy, but it's necessary if you want to reach new heights. When you're willing to put in the work and make sacrifices, you send a powerful message to yourself that your goals are worth pursuing. The sacrifices you make today lay the foundation for the success you will experience tomorrow. One of the hardest things about the pursuit of success is the inevitable failures and setbacks you will face along the way. People often give up when things don't go as planned, when the road gets tough, or when they face rejection. But what distinguishes those who succeed from those who don't is their ability to persist in the face of failure. Failure is not a stop sign, it's a lesson. Each failure is an opportunity to learn, adjust, and improve. The people who succeed are the ones who refuse to quit, who use failure as fuel to keep going, and who embrace the challenge of rising above their setbacks. The path to success is not easy, and it's not meant to be. If it were, everyone would be successful. The struggle, the obstacles, the discipline, and the sacrifices are what shape us and build our character. These experiences are what make success meaningful. Achieving something great is not about avoiding the hard work, but about embracing it. The grind, the long hours, the challenge, it all becomes part of the journey, and it's through overcoming these difficulties that we grow and become better versions of ourselves. In the end, success isn't about avoiding hard work or finding shortcuts. It's about dedicating yourself fully to the pursuit of your goals. It's about showing up every day with determination and discipline, even when it's hard. It's about making sacrifices today in order to build a better future tomorrow. Success isn't just about the end result. It's about the journey, the effort, and the growth that happens along the way. So don't look for an easy way out. Embrace the hard work, because that's where the real reward lies. Keep pushing, keep grinding, and never forget that greatness is earned through effort, discipline, and sacrifice. Time, like an unstoppable current, moves forward without regard for our plans or desires. Every second that ticks by is a second you can never get back. And this reality underscores an essential truth. Time is always moving. It doesn't pause for you to catch your breath or catch up with life. It doesn't wait for you to make decisions, to act, or to begin pursuing your goals. It continues relentlessly without offering any pause button. And because of this, we have to make the most of every moment, because the time lost today can never be regained. The concept of time moving constantly without slowing down for anyone can be both motivating and sobering. On one hand, it reminds us of the urgency of life. We only have a finite number of days on this planet, and once they're gone forever. Every decision you make about how to spend your time shapes the life you'll live and the legacy you'll leave. Whether you're working toward your goals, investing in relationships, or simply taking care of yourself, every minute counts. If you waste time today, you're not just losing a moment, you're losing a piece of your potential. On the other hand, this idea of time always moving also serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of action. Often we wait for the perfect moment, thinking we can afford to delay pursuing our dreams or working on our goals. We convince ourselves that we can pick up where we left off later, that we have all the time in the world to get things right. But here's the truth: later never comes. We're never guaranteed more time. Life doesn't operate on our timetable. It moves on without us. The longer we wait to act, the further behind we fall. The moment to begin is now. If you don't take action today, you'll find that tomorrow is already slipping away, and the cycle of waiting, delaying, and procrastinating continues. The key to making the most of the time we have is to embrace the fact that time is moving forward, and we are always either making progress or falling behind. The only way to stay ahead of time is to actively choose to spend your moments wisely, in pursuit of what truly matters to you. Whether you're investing in your career, working on your health, learning new skills, or nurturing relationships, the actions you take today are the building blocks of your future. There's no pause button, no reset button. If you don't act, time keeps moving, and so do your opportunities. It's easy to become distracted by the things that don't matter. In a world filled with instant gratification, we often get pulled into activities that don't contribute to our long-term goals. Time spent scrolling through social media, binge watching TV shows, or engaging in endless, trivial conversations can seem harmless in the moment. But when you look back at the hours you've spent on these distractions, you realize that they've stolen valuable time from your life. Time that could have been spent learning something new, improving your skills, or working on your passions. These distractions, while enjoyable in the short term, ultimately lead you further away from your goals and dreams. The passage of time also reminds us that we can't wait for the perfect moment to begin. So often, we delay our plans, waiting for things to be just right, for the right conditions, the right mood, or the right amount of knowledge. But perfection is a mirage. It doesn't exist. Time won't wait for us to feel ready or to wait for the stars to align. If we wait for the perfect time, we'll wait forever. The best way to make progress is to start where you are with what you have. Action is the antidote to hesitation. The more you act, the more momentum you build, and the more confident you become in your ability to handle whatever challenges come your way. The urgency of time moving forward also compels us to reflect on how we're using our moments. Are we making the most of our time, or are we letting it slip away? Take a moment to think about how you're spending your days. Are your activities moving you toward your goals? Or are you just filling the hours with distractions? How do you want to look back on your life? Time doesn't stop moving, and it won't wait for you to figure things out. The time you spend now, whether you use it wisely or waste it, will ultimately shape the future you live. The reality is, time will always keep moving, but you have the power to determine how you use it. Every day is an opportunity to move closer to the person you want to become. Every decision you make about how you spend your time either brings you closer to your goals or takes you further away from them. Time is a resource you can never get back, so make it count. Don't let the relentless march of time slip by unnoticed. Take charge, act with purpose, and use every moment as an opportunity to create the future you desire. The time is now, and you can't afford to let it pass you by. In conclusion, time is the most valuable resource we have, yet it is often the one we take for granted the most. We spend so much of our lives waiting for the right moment or letting distractions steal away our precious hours. But the truth is, time doesn't wait for anyone, and every moment that passes is a moment we'll never get back. If we continue to waste it, we risk never reaching our full potential. The key to making the most of the time we have is to take responsibility for it. We must recognize that now is the right time to start, that consistent effort, discipline, and sacrifice are the building blocks of success, and that we have the power to control how we spend every second. Our time is too precious to be spent on distractions or procrastination. Instead, we must be intentional with our actions, aligning them with our goals and values. Success comes not from waiting for the perfect time, but from making the most of the time we have, regardless of the challenges or setbacks we may face. The journey to achieving our dreams isn't about instant gratification or taking shortcuts. It's about the long, steady path of showing up every day, staying disciplined, and pushing forward despite the obstacles. When we embrace the reality that time moves forward relentlessly, we understand the urgency to act now, not tomorrow, not next year, but today. So make the decision today. Stop wasting time. Take control, invest in your future, and make every moment count. Time is moving. Make sure you're moving with it, building the life and future you deserve. The time is now, and it's up to you how you use it. Don't let it slip away.